Today's tutorial is a nice feline cat eye look. I'm going to start by using Illamasqua skin base to highlight and contour, but this will be a bit more natural as opposed to some of the heavier stuff I've done before with Dermacolour and Supracolour. If you're a regular watcher of my videos, you can skip past all the highlight and contouring because you're probably competent in that now. But I will continue to do it in my videos because there are lots of newbies always watching, so for those of you that don't watch my videos often, then you will see this a lot in my tutorials, but it is handy for everybody to know, and I do try and do different ways and variations of highlighting and contouring using different products. Using this skin base and stippling it on with a beauty blender will give you a nice sort of medium coverage. To get the right highlight and contour shades, I mixed both of them with a little bit of my foundation, and this allowed me to get the contour a couple of shades darker than my skin tone and the highlight a couple of shades lighter than my skin tone. Now, as you can see, I applied the highlight across the forehead, down the centre of the nose, across the cheekbones and on the chin, and I stippled the product straight away as I didn't want it to set in place. I wanted to blend it before it's set. So I'm doing the same thing with the contour. I'm taking it down the sides of the nose and also down the hollows of the cheeks. Just make sure your beauty blender's been dampened, as this will give you a nice airbrushed finish. Now I've got my highlight and contour in place, I'm going in with my foundation. I don't want to put the bulk of the foundation onto the areas I've already highlighted and contoured. So I'm going to stipple around the jawline first and the chin and top lip. Then I'm going to stipple over the highlighted areas, and then with what's left on the sponge I'll go over the contours. I don't want to totally blend them in, I just want to make them a little bit more seamless. The idea is that they create a little bit more shadow to the face, which is going to create more dimension. It's going to make your face more oval, and it's also going to make those areas that you want to stand out come forward, and also the areas you want to maybe slim down look slimmer. The highlight and contour can be as heavy as you like, but this will be defined by how you apply your foundation. As this is going to be about a strong eyeliner look, we're going to go with a slightly heavier brow, so I'm using Brunette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm starting off by lining the bottom of my brow and pulling that colour up, and I'm also starting about a third of the way in, as I want the lightest part of the brow to be at the very front. So as you can see, the line at the top's quite strong as my brows are quite light there, and then I'm just using a spoolie brush just to soften all those off, and with what's left on the brush you can see I've created two lines at the front and I'm filling that in. By not adding any more colour in, this is just going to give that front a more diffused look, which is more natural. Then taking a concealer brush dipped in a little bit of my foundation, I'm just lightening the front area, and then I'm dragging that across the top of the brow just to shape it a little bit more, also known as carving out the brow, but we're only applying this to the top. For the eyeshadow I decided to use one palette, and this one is the Bobbi Brown Ultra Nude Eye Palette. And we're taking the colour Chino just across the mobile eyelid. This is a muted soft brown, and this is just going to soak up any excess moisture from the foundation and be a nice base for the next colour, which is a metallic eyeshadow, and it's called Pink Chandelier. This particular colour isn't great to use on its own as the payoff's not great. It does look nice over this muted brown as it just adds a little bit of shimmer. To contour the socket we're using Stone, and this is like a nice medium brown, and it's also matte, and we're going to take that on an angle brush in a really sharp V shape. This is also going to be the guide for where to apply my eyeliner. Once that's on, I'm using a blending brush to soften, and I'm working in small circular motions backwards and forwards over the area and pulling it across the socket. Once that's softened and you can still see the shape, I'm just going back in with my brush and applying the same colour again, and this is going to deepen it, but it's also going to sandwich it and make sure it lasts longer. Always start off light with the colours and build them up, don't go in too heavy to begin with. Next, on a fluffy brush, I'm taking the first colour we used, which is Chino, and I'm applying that to the inner socket of the eye, and this is just going to slightly warm up that area. Using this matte bone coloured eyeshadow from my Louise Young Essential Eyes palette, I'm adding a subtle highlight to the brow bone, and I'm also adding that just to the inner corner of the eye, and then I'm going to use a fluffy brush just to blend that out. We are going to be applying eyeliner here, but the highlight still will show through either side of it. This next colour is called Cocoa Berry, and it's a dark brown with a hint of shimmer to it, and we're applying that on an angle brush underneath the lower lashes. And then we're just softening that off with a flat shader brush. Now it's time for eyeliner, and my favourite to use is this Bobbi Brown gel liner in Ink Black. My favourite brushes to apply gel liner with are paint brushes because the nib's really long and I find it glides over the lid really well. So I've applied the liner to the waterline, and I'm also tight lining here, and then I'm taking that across the top lid. Using small gentle strokes, I just like to glide from the inner corner to the outer edge, and then from the outer edge draw a line upwards at a slight angle to create your wing, and then from the tip of the flick you want to come back on yourself to meet the liner along your top lid, and then just fill in the rest of the wing. And then to create that nice feline cat eye, we're going to create a point at the front of the inner corner of the eye. The best way to do this is to wipe the excess off the brush so you get a nice point, and this will allow you to be more precise. Then just work that liner underneath the lower lashes, and the eyeshadow that we blended there first will create a nice diffused eyeliner appearance. And now we've got the liner wing, we're going to go back in with the eyeshadow, and we're using the Cocoa Berry on the angle brush just to define that socket. And by defining that shape, we're creating that really nice feline appearance that we want to the eye. And then using a blending brush, we're taking care not to bring any of that onto the actual eyelid itself. And then lastly, using the angle brush in the same colour, we're running that along the outside edge of the liner, and this is just diffusing it. I'm using my mascara of the moment, which is Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. Underneath the lower lashes, I'm applying Precious Lashes from House of Lashes. And I'm using tweezers to push the centre in and then just tuck the edges in. You want to keep this as close to the lower lashes as possible, and then just use your tweezers to lift them off your face while they dry. The top pair I'm using Iconic, and these are by House of Lashes as well, and I'm using duo glue to apply these. Wait about 30 seconds for the glue to go tacky before you place your lashes. To help hollow out my cheeks a little bit more, I'm using my Chanel Bronze Universelle. I think the colour's beautiful, and I also love that it doesn't leave a tacky residue to your face. You can either use this as bronzer, so where the sun would hit, or you can use it just to sculpt your face. At the minute I'm loving this cream blush by Boutique, which you can buy in Sainsbury's. It's affordable and it's great, and I like to apply this quite low. I opted for 2 lip looks for this, so I lined my lips with a Rimmel nude shade to begin with. Lining your lips isn't a necessity, it's just something you like to do if you want it slightly fuller or if you find that your lipstick bleeds a lot. And the lipstick I'm using is Cafe Latte by Estee Lauder. I'm not even sure they still do this because I've had it for so long. But in the flesh this colour is beautiful, it just adds a nice shimmer to it, and it's not overly brown. And this is the nude lip finished look. And the next colour we're going to go for is Flare, and this is a matte orange shade, and it's by Mascot. You really can get away with any colour lipstick with this look. Coral is really big at the minute, and I love this colour, and it does suit a nice tan. So as it's on trend, it makes sense to use it. And that's the coral lip version complete. I hope you've liked it. Please give me a thumbs up if you have, and thank you for watching.